गौरंगंधार गिरिधारी शिष्य राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद शतर शत शिष्मार श्रील भक्तिवेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद शतर शत शिष्मार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद शतर शत शिष्मार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्ट महाभगवत श्री गोक्षरस बाबूजी महाराज की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्ट श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जाय। श्री रूपानुवर्य गुरु वर्ग की जाय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जाय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जाय। नाम चय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जाय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जाय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जाय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जाय। श्री मोहन देवी कंग देवी की जाय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जाय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाय की जाय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जाय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जाय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जाय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। जय श्री चैतन्य भागवत की जय। श्री वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय। गौड़ीय भाष्य श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री चैतन्य चरितमृत की जय। श्री चैतन्य चरितमृत की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।
हरि हरि बोल।
हरि बोल मुरारी प्रभु। हरे कृष्ण। हरि बोल नरी हरि प्रभु। Pranam Bhavatarini Mataji, Champak Didi, Yashoda Didi, and let's see, who else is on there? Oh, 1 second, I forgot to, yeah, so I'm starting a bit late today, and so I'm not going to do a kirtan because I was having some trouble with my computer. But
it was perfect timing for me.
Okay, great.
And I'm making a pot of ghee at the same time.
Okay, great. Hari Bol Shri Mataji. All right, so yeah, we're going to skip kirtan for today, and we're going to just go straight to the Mangalacharan. I'm just sharing my screen. 1 second. Mama Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vanchakalpatarubhyashta Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavad Ajanulambita Bhujo Kanakavadato Sankirtanaika Pitaro Kamalaya Vishwambharo Dvijavaro Yugadharma Palo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro. Namastrikala Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya Cha Sabhrityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha. Avatirno Sakarunyo Parichinno Sarishvaro Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanando Dvau Bhrataro Bhaje. Sajayati Vishuddha Vikrama Kanakaba Kamalaya Tekshana Varajanu Vilambi Sharbhujo Bahudha bhaktirasabhinartaka. Jayati Jayati Deva Krishna Chaitanya Chandra Jayati Jayati Kirtis Tasya Nitya Pavitra Jayati Jayati Bhritas Tasya Vishvesha Murte Jayati Jayati Nrityam Tasya Sarva Priyanam Ādi Śrī Caitanya Goshtir Charane Ashisha Prakare Mor Danda Paraname Tabe Vando Shri Krishna Chaitanya Maheshwar Navadvipe Avatar Nama Vishwambhar Tavai Vasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigyaya Devi Tvam Nayamang Charanantikam Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshai Shiptashtakama Ditaranga Madhe Kripa Mai Tvam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanarvindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. The glories of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata and Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur from Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, Chapter 8, verses 33 to 42. Ore mura loko shuno Chaitanya Manga Chaitanya Mahima Jate Jani Beshaka Krishna Lila Bhagavate Kohe Veda Vyas Chaitanya Lila Vyas Vrindavana Das Koilo Chaitanya Mangal Jahan Rashavane Nashi Sarvaya Mangal Chaitanya Nitar Jate Jani Mahima Jate Jani Krishna Bhakti Siddhanter Sima Bhagavate Jatta Bhakti Siddhanter Sar Likhiya Chen Iha Jani Koriya Udar Chaitanya Mangala Shune Jadi Pashandi Javan Sheho Maha Vaishnava Hoy Tatakhan Manushe Rachite Nare Aiche Granta Dhanya Vrindavana Dasa Mukhe Vakta Shri Caitanya Vrindavana Dasa Pade Koti Namaskar Aiche Granta Korite Ho Tarila Sansar Narayani Chaitanya Ruchishta Bhajan Tar Garve Janmila Shri Dasa Vrindavan Tar ki Arbhuta Chaitanya Charita Varnan Jahara Shabani Shuddha Koila Tribhuvan Sahaje Vichitra Madhur Chaitanya Vihar Vrindavana Dasa Mukhe Amrite Dhar. By nature, all the activities of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet. And when they are described by Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Jai Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki Jai, Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur ki Jai. Jai, and the Gaudiya Bhashya of Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai. One second, I'm just moving. All right. So, Hari Bol Kishore Krishna Prabhu, I didn't see you before. And Gopal Prabhu, Ganga Mataji, Hare Krishna. And if anybody wrote a comment and I missed it, see, it's not showing up here. The reason is because I didn't have this opened, and for some reason with Facebook. When I don't have this window open, the comments don't come through later on. That problem doesn't happen with YouTube, but it does happen with Facebook for some reason. Anyhow, yeah, so Dandavat pranams everybody. Hare Krishna. And Arisa Shubhananda Prabhu, yes, okay. Haribol. All right, let's read this. Katha Sar by Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj. Nitai Gauranga. Okay. This chapter describes Sri Gaurasundar's visit to Gaya via Mandara and Punpun. It also describes his meeting with Iśvara Purī at Gaya, his bestowing mercy on Iśvara Purī on the pretext of accepting initiation, his manifestation of himself, his attempts to go to Mathura while being maddened in separation from Krishna, his return home to Navadvip Mayapur after hearing a voice from the sky on the way, and the conclusion of the Ādi-khaṇḍa. During the time when Sri Gaurasundar was enjoying his pastimes in Navadvip as the crest jewel of teachers, the philosophies of the atheists and the smartas were being quickly propagated. Even hearing the name of Bhakti Yoga was rare. The sinful people went on unnecessarily criticizing the Vaishnavas. Considering that the proper time had arrived to manifest himself, Sri Gaurasundar enacted the pastime of going to Gaya for performing worldly fruitive rituals in order to refute the atheistic and smarta philosophies, as well as to bewilder averse persons. In order to bewilder the atheists, the Lord displayed the pastime of being attacked with fever on his way to Gaya. Thereafter, to exhibit his affection towards his servants and the potency of water that has washed the feet of qualified brahmanas, he drank water that had washed the feet of a brahmana and ended his pastime of having a fever. On reaching Punpun, the Lord performs his pastime of worshipping the forefathers, and then he entered Gaya. He took bath at Brahmakund, and after displaying the pastimes of duly respecting his father at that place, he came to Chakraveda and manifested his pastime of seeing the lotus feet of Gadadhar, or Lord Vishnu. After hearing the glories of the lotus feet of Gadadhar from the resident brahmanas, the Lord became decorated with pure ecstatic transformations, and thus inaugurated his pastimes of manifesting loving devotional service. By providence, the Lord met Sri Iśvara Purī there. Sri Mahaprabhu revealed to Sri Iśvara Purī that the perfection of visiting Gaya is to meet pure devotees like Iśvara Purī, that seeing Vaishnavas is matchlessly greater than worshipping and offering oblations to the forefathers at Gaya, and that his purpose of traveling to Gaya was to permanently surrender at the lotus feet of a Mahabhagavat spiritual master. Without disturbing the foolish, ill-motivated fruitive workers who are bewildered by the three modes of material nature, to teach them that until one receives initiation into Krishna mantras from a bona fide spiritual master, he is eligible only for performing fruitive activities, and to simultaneously bewilder the atheists, Sri Gaurasundar exhibited the pastimes of offering various oblations to the forefathers at Gaya according to worldly customs. Thereafter, he returned to his room and began to personally cook. At that time, Shripad Iśvara Purī arrived there, overwhelmed with love of Krishna. The Lord personally served all the foodstuffs that he cooked for himself to Sri Iśvara Puripad, and by directly serving his spiritual master, Puripad, with his own hands, he displayed the ideal example of serving the spiritual master. On another day, in a solitary place, Mahaprabhu offered obeisances to Iśvara Purī, and he requested him for mantra initiation. Then the Lord received the 10-syllable mantra from his spiritual master and surrendered everything unto his lotus feet. In this way, Sri Gaur Narayan Prabhu, the spiritual master of the entire universe, instructed people who are desirous of love of God, in order to reveal that only a person who has fully surrendered at the lotus feet of his spiritual master and who is endowed with transcendental knowledge is qualified to achieve loving devotional service as a result of service to the spiritual master. Mahaprabhu, after receiving initiation from Iśvara Purī, became overwhelmed with separation from Krishna, and he loudly cried out, "Krishna, Krishna," and thus exhibited his pastime of becoming most restless. Anyways, we'll read the rest of this tomorrow, because this is where we're reading up to today. Going to verse 46. Okay. Okay, so we're reading from 45. I'll just read the last 11 verses that we left off with, I mean. By the divine will of the Supreme Lord, at that moment, when, because what happened, the Lord had darshan of Gadadhar. Maybe I'll go back a little bit further. Okay, so after the Mahaprabhu performed the śrāddha ceremony at different kunds and different places, he took bath and offered oblations to his forefathers. Okay, then the Lord entered Chakraveda and quickly went to see the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. And Chakraveda refers to Gaya Tirtha, where the lotus feet of Vishnu are situated. Countless flower garlands were stacked like a temple dome on Lord Vishnu's footprints, which were surrounded on all sides by brahmanas. Unlimited sandalwood paste, flowers, incense, and cloth had been offered at the lotus feet of the Lord. The brahmanas appeared like divine beings as they described the glories of the Lord's lotus feet. The brahmana said, "Lord Shiva accepted these same lotus feet in his heart, and these same lotus feet are constantly served by Lakshmi. These lotus feet were placed on the head of Bali Maharaj. O fortunate souls, now see those same lotus feet here. One who meditates on these lotus feet for even a moment never comes under the jurisdiction of Yamaraj. These lotus feet are rarely attained by even the best of yogis. O fortunate souls, now see those Now see those same lotus feet here. The Ganga emanated from these lotus feet, and the servants of the Lord constantly keep these lotus feet in their hearts. These lotus feet are most enchanting. These lotus feet are most enchanting on the bed of Ananta. O fortunate souls, now see those same lotus feet here." Hearing the glories of the Lord's lotus feet from the brahmanas, the Lord became absorbed in ecstatic love. As the Lord looked at those lotus feet, tears flowed from his eyes, his hair stood on end, and he began shivering. Lord Gaurachandra then began to manifest ecstatic prem bhakti for the benefit of the entire world. The brahmanas were all startled to see tears flow from the Lord's eyes like the unbroken flow of the Ganga. By the divine will of the Supreme Lord, at that moment, Śrī Iśvara Purī arrived at that place. On seeing Śrī Iśvara Purī, Śrī Gaurasundar respectfully offered him obeisances. Iśvara Purī was also delighted to see Gaurachandra, and he happily embraced him. In the ecstasy of meeting each other, they both became soaked with tears of love. The Lord said, "My journey to Gaya has become successful the moment I was able to see your lotus feet." Then we read this beautiful song by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. We sang this song. My dear mind, you're always attached to the different places of pilgrimage, such as Ayodhya, Mathura, Haridwar, Kashi, Kanchi, Avanti, and Dwarka. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, You want to travel to all these holy places of pilgrimage again and again for the sake of obtaining liberation, but it is clear that your heart is not becoming resolutely fixed by going to all these places. Therefore, all of your wanderings are simply useless labor. The real benefit of visiting any holy place is to achieve the association of the pure-hearted devotees of the Lord living there. Establishing intimate and friendly relations with such great souls, let your heart be captivated by performing the charming worship of Lord Krishna and their association. Wherever the Lord's devotees are living, that place becomes a place of pilgrimage. Therefore, you should become fixed by constantly remaining in the company of such devotees. Jatha sadhu tata tirtha stira kori nija chitta sadhu sanga koro nirantar. Je tirte vaishnavanai she tirte te nahi jai ki labh hantiya dur desh. Jathai vaishnavagan she sthan vrindavan she sthane ananda ashesh. I never visit any so-called place of pilgrimage that is devoid of the presence of unalloyed devotees. For what benefit is gained by walking to such distant places? Wherever there are devotees, that place is actually Vrindavan. Only there can one find unlimited spiritual pleasure. Liberation personified is herself the humble servant of the places that are surcharged with devotion to Krishna. All the water at the place is the celestial Ganga. Every hill there is Govardhan, and the very earth is indeed Vrindavan. Only such a place can manifest the eternal spiritual joy which is revealed by the Lord's pleasure potency. I ask you now, dear brother, what benefit would I get by circumambulating all the holy places of pilgrimage? Personally, my vow is to serve the Vaishnavas with firm resolution and untiring endeavor. Vinoda kohiche bhai, brahmiya ki fal pai, Vaishnava sevana mor vrata. So I wanted to read that again because it was so beautiful. Okay, so the Lord said, my journey to Gaya has become successful the moment I was able to see your lotus feet. If one offers oblations to the forefathers in a holy place, then the forefathers are delivered. But one delivers only he to whom the oblation was offered. By seeing you, however, millions of forefathers are immediately freed from material bondage. Therefore, holy places are not equal to you, for you purify even the holy places. Ataev tirtha nahe tomar saman, tirter o paramatumi mangala pradhan. Please deliver me from the ocean of material existence. I surrender myself unto you. And we read my Gurudev's commentary on this yesterday. E ami deha samarpilaya tomare. And also this next verse. Anyway, so we'll be reading from this point on the Gaudiya Bhashya. Krishna para parmer amrita rasapan amare korao tumi e chahidan. I beg that you make me drink the nectar of Krishna's lotus feet. Gaudiya Bhashya by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. Persons in whose hearts the eternally beneficial realization sajati ashaye snigde sadho sanga svato vare. One should associate with the devotees who are more advanced than oneself and who are endowed with a similar type of affection for the Lord. So those whose hearts have that realization, where that realization is prominent, they can alone fully surrender or take shelter of the lotus feet of the spiritual master. who can take shelter, who can fully surrender and take shelter of the spiritual master? One who has the realization, sajati ashaye snigde sadho sango svato vare. That means one should associate with sadhus who are sajatiya. That means they have the same goal. They're like-minded. They want the same attainment, same kind of disposition, and they are snigdha. That means that they have affection for oneself, and they're more advanced than oneself. That in that association, then if that's prominent for us, then we can fully surrender or take shelter at the lotus feet of a spiritual master. That's a very interesting point, huh? Considering that the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord are the only object of service, and to set example for practitioners who desire love of God, the Lord, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, exhibited the pastime of accepting Śrī Iśvara Purī, the recipient of Madhavendra Puripad's mercy, as his spiritual master, and thus bestowed mercy on him. There is no contradiction in the beginning. There is no contradiction in the begging at the lotus feet of the spiritual master for alms of drinking the nectar of Krishna's lotus feet by the Lord, who acted as a disciple, and the awarding of those alms by the donor Iśvara Purī, who acted as guru. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadishakamaye, mama janmani janmanishvare, bhavatar bhaktir ahaitu tvai. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor to enjoy beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. What I want only is the causeless mercy of your devotional service in my life, birth after birth. The purport of this verse offered by the Lord in prayer at the lotus feet of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata manifested and constantly remained in the heart of Śrī Iśvara Purī on the strength of Śrī Madhavendra Puri's full non-duplicitous mercy. Okay. Bolen Iśvara Purī, shuno ho pandita, tumi je Iśvara angsha, janino nishchita. Iśvara Purī then said, "Listen, dear Pandit, I know without doubt that you are an expansion of the Supreme Lord." Gaudiya Bhashya. Iśvara Purī, the Lord's associate and servant of the Mahabhagavat Guru, constantly engaged in chanting the holy names of the Lord. Therefore, since the principle of offering respect to others without expecting any honor was brightly shining in him, he instructed Gaurasundar, who acted as his disciple, as follows. You are the knower of all living entities' bondage and liberation. You are an expansion of the Supreme Lord. In other words, you are directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and all other controllers are your expansions. I am confident about this. In consideration of the absolute truth, the living entities are the fragmental parts and parcels of the Lord, who is full in 6 opulences. But in this case, since Gaurasundar was enacting the pastimes of a disciple, he exhibited the pastimes of hearing in disciplic succession from the lotus mouth of his spiritual master the conclusion that the living entities are parts of Lord Vishnu. In other words, they are separated parts, vibhinangsha. Jiver sarupa hoy Krishner nitya das, Krishner tatastha shakti bheda bhed prakash. It is the living entity's constitutional position to be an eternal servant of Krishna, because he is the marginal energy, the tatastha shakti of Krishna, and he is a manifestation simultaneously one and different from the Lord. Constitutionally, The separated, constitutionally, the separated parts of the Supreme Lord have no material designations. In other words, the living entities cannot remain in any occupation other than the service of the Lord. Living entities who are forgetful of their constitutional position and who are averse to the service of the Lord are subjected to the bondage of material existence. In that state, the valor of body and mind is prominent in their activities. The Lord is the supersoul, and the living entity is an infinitesimal soul, and therefore his fragmental part. The Lord is the infinitely potent, fully cognizant personality, and the spirit soul is a minute, liberated spiritual spark. Je tomar panditya je charitra tomar, sheho ki Iśvara angsha boy hoy ar. Can anyone other than an expansion of the Supreme Lord possess the extraordinary learning and characteristics that you have? Gaudiya Bhashya. Due to absorption in Maya, materially conditioned souls are under the control of the illusory energy of the Lord. But for pure spirit souls, there is no scope for absorption in Maya. The characteristics of conditioned souls and the characteristics of liberated souls are not one. Therefore, I do not consider you anyone other than an expansion of the Supreme Lord. It is understood from your learning and characteristics that you are none other than an expansion of the Supreme Lord. Oh, Haribo, Ujjvala Prada Mataji. Haribo, Dandavat Pranams. And Prajuna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, and Govinda Saha. And I already saw Gopal, yeah, okay. Hare Krishna, everybody. So Iśvara Purī continues. Jeno aji ami shubha swapna dekhilaya shakshate tahara phal e pailaya. I had an auspicious dream last night, and today I have obtained the fruits of that dream. Satya kahi pandit tomar darashane parananda sukha jeno pai anukhane. O Pandit, I am telling you the truth. I am feeling great ecstasy every moment since I've seen you. Jadavadi toma dekhi achi na diyai. Tadavadi chitte ar, tadavadi chitte ar kichu nahi bhai. From the time I saw you in Nadia, my heart has had no other attraction. Satya eko hi ithe anya kichu nai, Krishna darashana sukha toma dekhi pai. I am speaking the truth, nothing else. When I see you, I feel the happiness of seeing Krishna. Gaudiya Bhashya. Since I saw you in Navadvip, no other subject matter has occupied my heart. This is indeed the truth. There is no doubt about it. As soon as I see you with my eyes smeared with the ointment of love, I experience the same indescribable happiness as when I see Krishna. Shone priya Iśvara Purīr satya bhakya, hasiya bolen Prabhu mor boro bhagya. Hearing his beloved Iśvara Purī's truthful words, the Lord smiled and said, "It is my great fortune." E mata koto ar kotuka sambhasha, jata hoilo taha varni ben Vedavyasa. In this way, the two exchanged many other pleasing words, which will be described in the future by Vedavyas. Tobe Prabhu tan sthane anumati loya tirtha śrāddha koribare boshila asiya. The Lord then took leave of Iśvara Purī and went to offer oblations to his forefathers. Gaudiya Bhashya. It is the prescribed duty for one to offer oblations to his forefathers when visiting a holy place. Gaur Hari enacted the pastime of taking permission from Iśvara Puripad and then offering oblations at Gaya according to prescribed duties. The path of pure devotional service and the path of fruitive activities based on the smritis are not similar. Only after rejecting fruitive activities can one enter into spiritual life. Since materially conditioned living entities are not self-realized or God-realized before hearing topics of the Lord, they take to fruitive activities, such as offering oblations to their forefathers and the demigods according to external considerations. Falgu tirte kori bala kar pindadan, tobe gela giri shringe preta gayastan. The Lord went to the Falgu river and offered oblations to the forefathers with sand. Then the Lord went to Preta Gaya on top of the hill. Gaudiya Bhashya. The Falgu river flows under a bed of sand at Gaya. There is a system for offering oblations with sand at this place. In order to bewilder and deceive fruitive workers, Gaur Hari enacted pastimes of offering oblations to his forefathers with sand. Thereafter, he went to Preta Gaya on top of the hill. There are 395 steps leading to Preta Gaya. 395 steps leading to Preta Gaya that were built in 1775. The steps were built by Madan Mohan Datta Mahashai, who is known among the people as Kubera, and who is a renowned black merchant. That means he was doing like illegal trade, like black trade? I don't know. So Madan Mohan Datta Mahashai, who is known among the people as Kubera and who is renowned as a black merchant, and who was born in the famous Datta family of Hattakola, Kolkata. On the wall of the temple, there is an inscription reading, Shri Shri Radha Krishnaya Namaha, Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Namaha, Shri Shiva Durga Sharanam, Jaya Rama. O Lord Madan Mohan, I beg at your lotus feet for the benediction of good fortune for me and my entire family. Seeing the difficulty people took to climb this hill to reach Preta Gaya, a person named Madan Mohan has built a beautiful wide staircase for the benefit of the pilgrims and the pleasure of Lord Narayan, the husband of Lakshmi. Construction on the 395 steps was begun and completed in the year 1775. Okay, that's a lot of details. Okay. Preta Gaya śrāddha kori Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata dākṣināye bhakye tushi len vipragan. Śrī Caitanya offered śrāddha at the place and then satisfied the brahmanas. He satisfied the brahmanas there with sweet words. Gaudiya Bhashya. After enacting the pastime of offering oblations at Preta Gaya, the Lord satisfied the local brahmanas with dakshina in the form of various sweet words. It is seen that pilgrims offer excessive respect and donations to the priests at Gaya. What to speak of this? The foolish, most greedy pandas of Gaya have pilgrims worship their feet with flowers and tulsi leaves, and thus accumulate grave offenses. That is why the Lord, rather than encouraging such offensive activities, satisfied the pandas simply with sweet words. Okay, so when we see a greedy panda trying to steal all our money from us, we should just try to satisfy them with sweet words. But it's also not appropriate to shout at the pandits and get mad at them and say, hey, blah, blah, blah. I've seen people, Western devotees, do that sometimes. And that's not appropriate. But we should be respectful and just try to say sweet words to them and get the hell out of there. Okay. Tabe udhariya pitri gana santarpiya dakshina manase chalilen harshay hoya. After duly delivering the forefathers, the Lord happily went to Dakshina Manas. Tabe chalilen Prabhu Shri Rama Gayai Rama avatare śrāddha korila jatai. He next went to Sri Ram Gaya, where he had previously performed the Shraddha in his incarnation as Ramachandra. Eho avatare she sthane Shraddha kori, tabe Yudhishthir Gaya gelo Gorahari. In this incarnation, he again performed Shraddha at that very same place. Thereafter, Lord Gorahari went to Yudhishthir Gaya. Purve Yudhishthir Pinda Dilen Tathai, She Prite Tathashad Koila Gorarai. Yudhishthir Maharaj had previously performed Shraddha there. Out of affection for Yudhishthir, Gaur also performed Shraddha there. Chaturdike Prabhure Bediya Vipragan, Shraddha Korayin Shabe Purana Vachan. All the brahmanas there sat around the Lord and directed him in the procedures of the Shraddha ceremony. Shraddha Kori Prabhu Pinda Phele Je Jale, Goali Brahmana Shab Dhori Dhori Gile. As the Lord performed Shraddha and offered oblations in the water, all the resident brahmanas grabbed the offerings and ate them. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Goali derives from the Hindi word Gowala. Oh God, it's hard to read Bengali written in Goyal. I don't know. I can't read that. Goyala. I don't know that Hindi word. Anyways, that refers to the Pandas of Gaya, the Brahmana priests, are the residents of Gaya. In this verse, the extremely greedy nature of the Brahmana priests of Gaya is seen. So even at that time, the Brahmana priests were very greedy. But how did the Lord deal with their greediness? Let's see. Dekhiya hasen Prabhu Shri Caitanya-bhāgavata Shesha Viprarjata Khandilo Bandhan. Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata, he didn't get upset or try to, really disturbed or anything. He simply smiled. Hasan. Hasan means he either smiled or laughed on seeing this. And thus the Brahmanas were freed from all material bondage. Uttar Manase Prabhu Pinda Dan Kori Bhima Gaya Kori Len Gauranga Shri Hari. The Lord next offered a Shraddha at Uttar Manas. He then went to Bhima Gaya. Shiva Gaya Brahma Gaya Adi Jata Ache Sabakori Shodasha Goyai Gela Pache. Thereafter, the Lord performs the prescribed rites at Shiva Gaya, Brahma Gaya, and finally at Shodasha Gaya. Shodasha Gaya Prabhu Shodashi Koriya Sabare Dilen Pinda Shraddha Jukta Hoya. While at Shodasha Gaya, the Lord faithfully offered Shraddha with 16 ingredients on behalf of all his forefathers. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Shodashi refers to a particular type of Shraddha in which the following 16 ingredients are offered: land, asan, water, cloth, ghee lamp, rice, betel nuts, umbrella, sandalwood paste, flower garland, fruits, bedding, shoes, cows, gold, and silver. Wow, it's a very interesting combination. Or it may refer to a kind of sacrificial pot. As stated, In the Ati-ratra sacrificial performance, the acceptance or rejection of the Shodashi pot depends on one's prior vow. Okay. Tobe Mahaprabhu Brahma Kunde Kori Snan, Gaya Shire Asi Korilen Pindadan. Thereafter, the Lord took bath at Brahmakund and offered oblations at Gaya Shira. Devyamala Chandana Shihaste Prabhu Loya, Vishnu Pada Chinna Pujilen Harsha Hoya. The Lord then personally worshipped Lord Vishnu's footprints with flower garlands and sandalwood paste. E mata sarvasthane shadadi koriya, vasai cholila vipra gane santoshiya. After completing his offerings of shad and satisfying the brahmanas at all the recommended places, the Lord returned to his room. Gaudiya Bhashya. Regarding the Karma-khaṇḍa system of performing shraddha at Gaya, in the Vishnu Puran 2.16.4, Urva spoke to Sagar Maharaj the following words: Gayam upetyaya shraddham karoti prithvi pate safalam tasya janma jayate pitrituštidam. O king, a person who goes to Gaya and offers oblations makes his life successful by satisfying his forefathers. Tabe Mahaprabhu koto khane shushta hoya, randhana korite prabhu bosilen giya. After he took some rest, the Lord then sat down to cook. Randhana sampurna hoilo, henoi shamoy, ailen Śrī Iśvara Purī Mahashay. As soon as the Lord finished cooking, Śrī Iśvara Purī arrives there. Prema joge Krishna naam bolite bolite, ailen Prabhu sthane dhulite dhulite. Iśvara Puri's head was rolling back and forth in ecstatic love as he arrived there chanting the names of Krishna. Gaudiya Bhashya. While chanting the holy names of Krishna, Iśvara Puripad was overwhelmed with love of God and unable to control his balance as he came before Sri Gaurasundar. At that time, the Lord is engaged in cooking. Randan ediya Prabhu parama sambrame, namaskari tane boshailen asane. The Lord immediately left the kitchen, and, after respectfully offering obeisances, he seated Iśvara Puri comfortably. Hasiya bolen Puri shunoho pandita, bhaloy shamoy hoy laya upanita. Iśvara Puri smiled and said, "Listen, O Pandit, I see I've..." So Iśvara Puri smiled and said, "Listen, O Pandit, I see I've come at the right time." Prabhu bole jabe hoilo bhagyer... Prabhu bole jabe hoilo bhagyer udoy, ei anna bhikha aji koro mahashay. The Lord replied, "It will be my good fortune if you accept your meal here today." Hasiya bolen Puri, tumi ki paibe? Tumi ki paibe? What will you take? Prabhu bole, ami anna randi baya ebe. Iśvara Puri smiled and said, "Then what will you eat?" The Lord replied, "I will cook again." Puri bole, ki karje koribe ar paka, je anna achaye taha koro dui bhaga. Iśvara Puri then said, "What is the need for cooking again? Divide whatever you have in 2 portions." হাসিয়া বলেন প্রভু যদি আমা চাও যে অন্ন হইয়াছে তাহা তুমি সব খাও, eat it all. The Lord smiled and said, if you really want to please me, then eat everything I've cooked. Eat whatever I cooked. Yeah, same thing, right? তিলার দেখে আর অন্ন রান্ধিবাই আমি না করো সংকোচ কিছু ভিক্ষা করো তুমি. I will cook again within a moment. You take your meal without hesitation. তবে প্রভু আপনার অন্ন তারে দিয়া আর অন্ন রান্ধিতে সে গেলা হর্ষ হইয়া. The Lord then gave his meal to Iśvara Purī and happily went to cook for himself. Eno kripa prabhur Iśvara Purī prati Purir onahiko Krishna chhada anyamati. Purir onahiko Krishna chhada anyamati. Iśvara Purī's mind never deviated from the lotus feet of Krishna. Therefore, the Lord bestowed such mercy on him. Shri haste apane prabhu kore paribeshan parananda sukhe puri koren bhojan. The Lord served Iśvara Purī with his own hands, and Iśvara Purī thus ate in great ecstasy. Shekhane Rama Devi ati alakhite prabhur nimitta ana randhila tvarite. At that time, Rama Devi, the goddess of fortune, quickly cooked for the Lord while remaining unseen by all. Wow, that's so neat. Gaudiya Bhashya. Remaining out of the sight of materially conditioned living entities, Shri Mahalakshmi Devi, who is the dearmost maidservant of Gaur Narayan, immediately cooked nectarian foodstuffs for her beloved husband. তবে প্রভু আগে তানে ভিক্ষা করাইয়া আপনে অভোজন করিলা হর্ষ হইয়া. Then, after the Lord first fed Iśvara Purī, he happily ate himself. Iśvara Purīr সঙ্গে প্রভুর ভোজন ইহার শ্রবণে মিলে কৃষ্ণ প্রেম ধান. One who hears about the Lord taking his meal with Iśvara Purī will achieve the wealth of love of Krishna. তবে প্রভু ঈশ্বর পুরীর সর্ব অঙ্গে আপনে শ্রী হস্তে লেপিলেন দিব্য গন্ধে. The Lord, with his own hands, then smeared sandalwood paste on the body of Śrī Iśvara Purī. Gaudiya Bhashya. The Jagat Guru Lord set the ideal example of serving the spiritual master by personally smearing the body of Iśvara Puripad with sandalwood pulp as a menial disciple. While serving the spiritual master, who is a manifestation of the Supreme Lord, Gaur Hari taught everyone that the best ingredients of this world should never be used for one's own sense gratification. Rather, they should be utilized only for the service of Hari, Guru, and Vaishnavas. Jato prita Ishvarer, Iśvara Purire, taha vani bare konjan shakti dhare. Who has the ability to describe the Lord's love for Śrī Iśvara Purī? Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Ishvarer refers to the Supreme Lord Shri Gaurasundar. Apane Ishvar Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata dekhilen Iśvara Purir janmasthan. The Supreme Lord Śrī Caitanya personally visited the birthplace of Iśvara Purī. Gaudiya Bhashya. The birthplace of Iśvara, I've been to that place. The birthplace of Iśvara Purī is situated in the village of Kumarhatta, which is 3 kilometers from the Hali Sahar station on the EBR line. Recently, the Saki Bekis have introduced their unauthorized standard of worship at this birth site. Seeing, offering obeisances to, and circumambulating the Lord's birthplace are some of the limbs of pure devotional service. Prabhu bole Kumara hatterer namaskar, Śrī Iśvara Purī je grame avatar. The Lord said, I offer my obeisances to the village of Kumar Hatta, where Śrī Iśvara Purī appeared. Kandilen vistar Chaitanya sthane, ar shabda kichu nahi Iśvara Purī bine. Lord Chaitanya cried profusely at that place and spoke nothing other than the name of Iśvara Purī. He just said Iśvara Purī, Iśvara Purī, Iśvara Purī. She sthaner mritika apane prabhu tuli, loilen bahirvase bandhi eka jhuli. The Lord took some dust from the birthplace of Iśvara Purī and tied it in his cloth. Prabhu bole Iśvara Purir janmasthan, e mritika amar jivan dhana pran. Amar jivan dhana pran. E mritika amar jivan dhana pran. The Lord said, the dust from the birthplace of Iśvara Purī is my life, is my wealth, and my living force. Heno Iśvarer prita Iśvara Purire, bhaktere barate prabhu shava shakti dhare. The Lord exhibited such affection for Iśvara Purī because he takes pleasure in increasing the glories of his devotees. Gaudiya Bhashya. Because the Lord worships his devotees, Lord Gaurasundar increased the prestige of his dear devotees by accepting Iśvara Puripad as his spiritual master. Prabhu bole gaya korite je aila, satya hoilo Iśvara Purire dekhilaya. The Lord said, I came to Gaya to offer oblations to my forefathers. Now that I have seen Iśvara Purī, my journey has become successful. Wait a second, that's not proper translation. Yeah, that's not a proper translation at all. This is saying that the purpose, the purpose for which I came to Gaya has now been made successful. Has become true, because I have had darshan of Iśvara Puripad. But it didn't say I came to Gaya to offer oblations to my forefathers. I don't know why that's there. Anyways, okay. Gaudiya Bhashya. In order to teach his sadhak disciples, the Lord, as spiritual master of the world and the teacher of all, personally spoke the following words. On the occasion of my visit to Gaya, I was fortunate enough to have the lotus feet of the spiritual master, who is the personification of the holy places, and as a result, I have attained the fruits of visiting all holy places. Yeah, this is a big mistake. Ardine nibrite Iśvara Purī sthane, mantra dīkṣā chahilen madhur vachane. On another day, the Lord went privately to Iśvara Purī and in sweet words requested him for initiation. Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase mantra dīkṣā is defined in the Bhakti Sandarbha 207 as mantra dīkṣā rupa anugraha, receiving mercy in the form of initiation. According to the passage, mananat trayate yasmat tasman mantra prakirtita. According to this passage, it says a mantra is that which delivers one from manana, or absorption in the separate temporary objects of the material, external, enjoyable world, or that which delivers the material enjoyer from the principle of enjoying material existence. It is stated in the Vishnu Yamala, Divyam Jnanam Yato Dadyat Kuryat Papasya Sankshayam Tasma Diksheti Sa Prokta Deshikais Tattva Ko Vidai. Dīkṣā is the process by which one can awaken his transcendental knowledge and vanquish all reactions caused by sinful activity. A person expert in the study of the revealed scriptures knows this process as dīkṣā. According to regulative principles, the initiation ceremony has 5 factors. Among them, the 3 samskars, tapa samskar, urdhva pundra samskar, and nama samskar. These 3 samskars are found in the gross material world. Apart from these 3, those who are madhyam adhikaris can undergo mantra samskar and yoga samskar, and thus become fully initiated with the 5 samskars. Thereafter, those who perform navejya karma, or 9 forms of archan, and who master the knowledge of Artha Panchak are called Uttam Adhikaris. Persons who have received Pancharatrika initiation are qualified to worship the deities. By the influence of mantra dīkṣā, a living entity attains freedom from the bondage of material existence. Then, by attaining perfection in chanting one's mantra, knowledge of the Lord and his holy names awakens in one's heart, and one becomes qualified to serve the lotus feet of Krishna. In the Bhagavat Sampradaya, the Kanishta Adhikaris who engage in deity worship lack scientific knowledge regarding the devotees of the Lord, because at that stage, apart from worshipping the deity, appreciation for the wonderfully glorious service of the Lord's associates does not manifest in their materialistic hearts. Gradually, due to the increased good fortune and the mercy of the Lord, when the living entities surpass the stage of Kanishta and become conversant in knowledge about the devotees, then by the result of achieving transcendental knowledge, the 4 following principles are found. That's prema for the Lord, then maitri for the devotees, and then, it's that verse from in the 11th canto. What is it? Iśvara tad adhineshu balisheshu dīkṣā prema maitri kripa upeksha ya karoti samadhyama. So it means for Ishvar they have prem, then and then friendship with those who are attached to his servants. So for the tad adhineshu they have maitri, then the display of mercy to instruct, and they display of mercy by instructing the innocent who are ignorant of the absolute truth. So for the balisheshu, they have kripa and neglect of those who are opposed to the Lord. And for the dvisatsu, they are upeksha. They are averse. They neglect them, upeksha. In the advanced stage of Uttam Adhikari, the principle of neglecting those who are averse to the Lord is slackened, and as a result, one obtains indirect cultivation of Krishna consciousness, which the conception that everything in the world is meant for the service of Krishna awakens, and thus one always and everywhere continually remembers the Lord. Puri bole mantra ba boliya kon katha, prana ami dite pari tomare sarvatha. Iśvara Purī replied, "What to speak of mantra? I can give my very life to you." তবে তান স্থানে শিক্ষা গুরু নারায়ণ করিলেন দশাক্ষর মন্ত্রের গ্রহণ. Then, in order to instruct everyone, the Lord accepted the 10-syllable mantra from Iśvara Purī. Gaudiya Bhashya. Shri Gaurasundar is directly Shri Krishna. In the verse of Lila Shuk Bilva Mangal's Shri Krishna Karnamrita, it is stated, Shiksha Gurusha Bhagavan Shiki Pincha Moli. All glories to my instructing spiritual master, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who wears peacock feathers in his crown. Though situated in the heart of Iśvara Puripad as the Chaita Guru Supersoul, in order to instruct everyone that it is essential for a person desiring to attain the goal of life to first take shelter at the lotus feet of the spiritual master, Mahaprabhu personally accepted Puripad as his guru and enacted the pastime of receiving the 10-syllable mantra from him. তবে প্রভু প্রদক্ষিণা করিয়া পুরীরে প্রভু বলে দেহ আমি দিলাইয়া তোমারে. The Lord then circumambulated Iśvara Purī and said, I fully surrender myself unto you. হেন শুভ দৃষ্টি তুমি করহ আমারে যেন আমি ভাসি কৃষ্ণ প্রেমের সাগরে. Please glance mercifully on me so that I may float in the ocean of love of Krishna. Gaudiya Bhashya. Some people consider the three varga, religiosity, economic development, and sense gratification, as the goal of life. And some consider mukti, liberation, the goal of life. But most people are unable to ascertain the fifth goal, love of God, prem, Krishna prem, as the goal of life. In order to instruct people, Jagat Guru Gaurasundar enacted the pastime of a disciple attaining love of Krishna by completely rejecting the four cheating objectives of life, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, and praying to his spiritual master Iśvara Puripad for love of Krishna, which is the only principal goal for a devotee to achieve. Personally realizing that love of Krishna is the only goal of life, he then glorified it before Iśvara Purī. শুনিয়া প্রভুর বাক্যা শ্রী ঈশ্বর পুরী প্রভুরে দিলেন আলিঙ্গন বক্ষে ধরি. Hearing the Lord's words, Shri Iśvara Purī embraced him. দোহার নয়ন জলে দোহার শরীর সিঞ্চিত হইলা প্রেমে কেহ নাহে স্থির. The bodies of both became soaked with their tears and agitated due to ecstatic love. হেন মতে ঈশ্বর পুরীরে কৃপা করি কতদিন গয়ায় গয়ায় রহিলা গৌরহরি. In this way, while bestowing mercy on Iśvara Purī, Shri Gaurahari remained in Gaya for a few days. Gaudiya Bhashya. Inexperienced material enjoyers, fruitive workers, celibates, yogis, mental speculators, and ascetics, who are all busy fulfilling their material desires that are not related to Krishna, they think that Gaurasundar is a mortal living entity, forced to accept the fruits of his karma like themselves, and therefore he was obliged to accept someone as his spiritual master in order to attain freedom from the bondage of material existence. Due to this offensive mentality, they display superficial respect to mundane, non-devotee so-called gurus, and thus accumulate offenses at the feet of Guru Tattva, the bona fide guru. But in this case, even though Lord Chaitanya is personally the supreme object of worship, in order to show honor and respect to his own beloved devotee, he established him as his spiritual master, and thus exhibited his real mercy. Atma prakasher asi hoilo shamoy dine dine bare prem bhaktir vijoy. As the time became ripe for the Lord to reveal himself, his loving devotional sentiments increased day by day. We're ending with this verse. This is the turning point. As the time became right for the Lord to reveal himself, his loving devotional sentiments increased day by day. Dine dine bade prem bhaktir vijay. Gaudiya Bhashya. While playing the role of an ideal devotee, the Supreme Lord Gaurasundar, he thereafter enacted the pastime of displaying the internal mentality of a self-realized, surrendered living entity. Progressively, Dasya Prem Bhakti, Sakhya Prem Bhakti, Vatsalya Prem Bhakti, and Madhur Prem Bhakti in the mood of a beloved increased in the Lord's heart in ever fresh ways. Vatsalya Prem Bhakti is included in Madhur Prem Bhakti. Sakhya Prem Bhakti is included in Vatsalya Prem Bhakti. Dasya Prem Bhakti is included in Sakhya Prem Bhakti. And the neutral Shanta Bhakti is included in Dasya Prem Bhakti. The eternal constitutional form of a conditioned soul is first covered by a subtle body in the form of mind, and then it is covered by a gross body to wander throughout the external world. Within these two temporary material bodies, the eternal spirit soul is situated. As soon as the dormant soul is revived, the material body and mind of the conditioned state immediately come under control. Otherwise, when these two material designations are prominent and the spirit soul is not awakened from his conditioned state, no symptoms of the propensity for serving the Supreme Lord, which is the eternally perfected constitutional duty, are found in him. Okay, so that's our reading for today. We still have 9 minutes. Should I read a little bit more? Then we won't have as much to read tomorrow, because tomorrow will be 5,000 words. Maybe I'll read a little bit more. Although this is a nice place to end. I think I'm going to end here. Yeah. And we could sing a kirtan instead. So the Lord was absorbed in sentiments of ecstatic love. His entire body was covered with dust. Wait, I'm just checking the chat. 1 second. All right, Kishore said, yes, read. Actually, yeah, I am going to read. Then we don't need to go overtime tomorrow. Yeah. Okay, so I'll read a little bit more. Ekadina Mahaprabhu Poshiya Nibhrite Nija Ishta Mantra Dhyana Lagila Korite. Once again, just checking the comments. Hare Krishna Shasharmaji. One day, the Lord sat down in a solitary place and he began to meditate on his 10-syllable mantra. Dhyananande Mahaprabhu Bahya Prakashiya Korite Lagila Prabhu Rodhana Dakiya. After some time, when the Lord regained his external consciousness, he began to shed tears and call out for Krishna. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word dhyan is defined in Bhakti Sandarbha 278 as Visheshato Rupadi Chintanam Dhanam, the transcendental spiritual cultivation of specifically contemplating the forms, names, qualities, and pastimes of the Lord. No one should think that the word dhyan refers to the practice of contemplating enjoyable objects of the material world. In the absolute truth, which is the goal of Vishnu mantras, there are no objects enjoyable or perceivable to the material senses of the conditioned souls. Since there is no possibility of transcendence in artificial meditators' contemplation on their respective worshipable lords concocted by their temporary minds, which are absorbed in material objects, such persons are simply another branch of the Prakrit Sahajya Sampradaya. Since the absolute truth is the object of meditation for pure minds and is situated beyond this material kingdom, pleasing him by contemplating the form of that absolute truth by the pure mind through meditation, that is a limb of devotional service known as dhyan, of meditation. The transcendental symptoms that Sri Gaurasundar exhibited in the external world after engaging in the cultivation of Krishna consciousness by meditating on his worshipable mantra are indicative of his vipralamba ras, or feelings of separation from Krishna. At that time, in spite of being with Krishna, he felt that he had not achieved him, so shedding tears became his principal activity. Feelings of separation alone are the means and nourishment for sambhog, or conjugal love in direct contact. In order to remove illusions born of the false conclusions of those who accept sambhog rather than vipralamba as their sadhan, the Lord, who proudly considered himself a servant afflicted with separation from Krishna, the supreme goal, taught that the mood of separation is the means of achieving the goal of life. Actually, the Lord appeared in this world from the spiritual world, Goloka, simply to preach the glories of the radiant, exalted mood of separation from the Lord in this world. Not understanding these mysteries, the Prakrit Sahajas accept the Shakteya philosophy of Sambhog, which is averse to devotional service and ruins everything, and they thus establish and advertise themselves as another community of material enjoyers. Considering himself a surrendered servant afflicted with separation from Krishna, Sri Gaurasundar began to cry while loudly addressing Krishna in a devotion-filled voice. We'll end here, and I will we'll continue on tomorrow. We'll do kirtan, and then I can't really concentrate because people are talking in the background. I don't even really know what I just read now. Anyway, sorry about that. Okay, we'll do Mahamantra for. Should we sing a kirtan? Yeah, maybe let's do one Mahaprabhu kirtan because I didn't do one in the beginning. Okay. Yeah, I'll share my screen again. What about, what's a kirtan? Big text, okay. What about Gorangera Dukti Pada? That's pretty. Oh, you know what we haven't sung yet? We haven't done Kali Kukura, right? Have we done that? Can't remember. Let's do that one. If you wish to vanquish the dog-like personality of Kali, then sing the name of Sri Shachinandan, the savior of the age of Kali, who nullifies all fear of Kali. Gaur is the exhilaration of Gadadhar Pandit. He is the treasure of the life of Nityananda Prabhu and the worshipful object of Advaita Acharya. He is known as Nimai, Vishwambar, the lord of Srivas Pandit, and he who steals the hearts of the devotees. He is the moon of Nadia, the lord of Mayapur, and the divine propagator of the holy name. For Grihastas, he is the instructor, and for renunciates, he is their hero. He is Madhav in the bhav of Sri Radha. He is the purifier of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, the savior of King Prataparudra, the nurturer of Ramananda Rai, and a great hero. He enhances the bliss of Srila Rupa Goswami, and he is the maintainer of Srila Sanatana Goswami. He is the delight of Srila Haridas Thakur, and he is very grave. He is immersed in Vrajaras. He is the destroyer of wicked materialistic philosophies, the purger of hypocrisy from the heart, and is the transcendental Kamadev, Cupid. He nourishes the pure devotees, expels dry knowledge, demolishes false bhakti, and is the reservoir of all pleasure. We'll just sing this one time through because we only have couple minutes left. Akali kukura kardana jadi chauhe Kali juga pavana Kali bhayana shana Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata gauhe Gadadhara mardana Nitayera pranadhana Advaitera prapujita gora Animai Vishwambhar Srinivasa Iśvara Bhakata Samoha Chitta Jora Nadiya Shashadhara Mayapura Iśvara Nama Pravartana Sura Grihijana Shikshaka Nyasi Kulanayaka Madhava Radha Bhavapura Sarvabhauma Shodhana Gajapati Tarana Ramananda Poshana Veera Rupananda Vardhana Sanatana Palana Haridasa Modana Dhira Vrajarasa Bhavana Dushtamata Shatana Kapati Vighatana Kama Shuddha Bhakta Palana Shushna Jnana Tarana Chala Bhakti Doshana Rama Shuddha Bhakta Palana Shushna Jnana Tarana Chala Bhakti Doshana Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Kishore Prabhu, would you like to do the Jaidwani?
Jai Sabrikar Shri Guru Gauranga Ganharvika Giti Hari Radhapinod Bihari Radhnainath Radharaman Bihari Radhamarva Shri Shri Mahaprabhu Radha Kubichandra ki Jai Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Jiv ki Jai Jai Nitya Leda Pravishtam Vishnupar Paramahamsa Prevrajagacharya Varya Astotrashta Shishiman Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Guru Maharaj ki Jai Jai Nitya Leda Pravishtam Vishnupar Paramahamsa Prevrajagacharya Varya Astotrashta Shishiman Bhakti Vedanta Shila Narayan Goswami Maharaj Parit Pavan Gurudev ki Jai Shila Gurudev ki Jai Jai Nitya Leda Pravishtam Vishnupar Stotrashta Shishiman Bhakti Balab Tirtha Goswami Maharaj ki Jai Jai Nitya Leda Pravishtam Vishnupar Stotrashta Shishiman Bhakti Vedanta Shalatar Vikram Goswami Maharaj ki Jai Jai Nitya Leda Pravishtam Vishnupar Stotrashta Shishiman Bhakti Balab Tirtha Goswami Maharaj ki Jai Shishiman Bhakti Vedanta Bhaman Goswami Maharaj ki Jai Jai Nitya Leda Pravishtam Vishnupar Stotrashta Shishiman A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Goswami Maharaj Jagar Guru Shrila Prabhupada ki Jai Jai Nitya Leda Pravishtam Vishnupar Stotrashta Shishiman Bhakti Daita Madhav Goswami Maharaj ki Jai Jai Nitya Leda Pravishtam Vishnupar Stotrashta Shishiman Bhakti Prakyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Param Gurudev Charkeshwar ki Jai Jai Nitya Leda Pravishtam Vishnupar Stotrashta Shishiman Jagar Guru Shri Varshava Navi Daitadas Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Prabhupada ki Jai Swaprika Shila Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur ki Jai Jai Nitya Leda Pravishtam Vishnupar Mahaparam Bhagavat Parvar Paramahamsa Ashtotrashta Shishiman Gaur Kishore Das Pavshi Mahashaya ki Jai Jai Nitya Leda Pravishtam Vishnupad Saptam Goswami Ashtotrashta Shishimat Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Mahashaya ki Jai Jai Nitya Leda Pravishtam Vishnupad Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Ashtotrashta Shishanimat Jagannath Das Pavshi Maharaj ki Jai Surya Kundavasi Shila Shila Madhusudan Das Pavshi Maharaj ki Jai Shri Udavaras Udaran Das ki Jai गुरुविरान आचार्य श्री शिल बलदेव भूषण प्रभु की जय। महामहोपरध्याय रसिक शिरोमणि शिल विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर पार की जय। शिल रसिकानंद मुरारी देव गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। श्री श्रील रामचंद्र कविराज की जय। श्री लोचन दास ठाकुर की जय। शिल नरोत्तम दास ठाकुर मशाय। श्रीनिवासाचार्य श्यामानंद पंडित प्रभुत्राय की जय। श्रील कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। यशवतार अरिका विशल वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय। श्री अष्टकविराज शुभ सुर जानव नित्यानंद दुरश गोपाल श्री चौषधि महंत की जय। जय श्री रूप श्री सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ सर्ग गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर रॉय रमानंद लोकनाथ भूगर्भ अली गौर परिषाद वृंद की जय। नमाचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। शिल ईश्वर पुरी पाद की जय। शिल मारविंद्र पुरी पाद की जय। श्री अंत द्वीप मायापुर सिमनदीप गोद्रुमदीप मध्यादीप गोलुदीप ऋतुदीप जानुदीप माधुरुद्रमादीप रुद्रदीप मात्मका श्री नवद्वीप धाम की जय। श्री एक चक्र धाम की जय। श्री शांतिपुर धाम की जय। श्री गौर चंद्र भगवान की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्णा गोपीनाथ गोपी गोपा गो गिर गोवर्धन नरसत्वना माका श्री ब्रज मंडल धाम की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गंग सखी यामन सखी तुलसी भक्ति देवी की जय। वृषभानुनंदिनी श्रीमती राधा रानी ठाकुरानी की जय। श्री ललिता विशाखा चित्रा चंपकलता तुंग विद्या इंदुलेखा रंग देवी सुदेवी हरि सखी वृंद की जय। श्री अनंगा प्रेमा मंजलाली श्री रूप लवंगा राग विलस गुणरति कस्तूरी हरि मंजारी वृंद की जय। श्री कमल मंजरी की जय। श्री नयन मणि मंजरी की जय। श्रीमती वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भगवती पूर्णमास योगमाय देवी की जय। श्री गोपीश्वर सरशिव महादेव की जय। राधा परंकित धाम श्री वृंदावन की जय। जय श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा सुदर्शन चक्र नीलमार्जु की जय। श्री जगन्नाथ पुरी पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र मंडल नीलाचल धाम की जय। सर्वा विक्रम रशन करे भक्त विक्रम विनाश श्री नृसिंह देव की जय। भक्तराज भक्त प्रवर श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। श्री प्रहलाद लक्ष्मी नृसिंह देव की जय। श्री चरिराम चरि संप्रदाय चर्याचार्य की जय। श्री मध्वार मनोजा विष्णु स्वामी नंबचार्य की जय। अकर्मतरा श्री चैतन्य मात की जय। श्री गौरी मठ वृंद की जय। ग्रंथरा श्रीमद् भगवताम भगवद गीता चैतन्य चरितामृत चैतन्य भगवत हरि सर्व गौरी वैष्णव ग्रंथ वृंद की जय। श्री जय धर्म की जय। हरिनामाचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। त्रिभुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम प्रभु की जय। त्रिभुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन युग धर्म की जय। कलखेर प्रेमदान श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। त्रिभुवन मंगल धन्य कलयुग तरग ब्रह्म श्री हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। महामंत्र की जय। महामंत्र श्री हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। श्री ब्रह्म गायत्री गुरु मंत्र गुरु गायत्री गौर मंत्र गौर गायत्री कपाल मंत्र काम गायत्री पंचतत्व मंत्र श्री हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। श्री अनंत पुरी वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री समगत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री सचिनंदन गौर हरि की जय। श्री चैतन्य भगवान की जय। शिल वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय। शिल प्रभुपाद भक्ति स्नान सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर की जय। शिल प्रभुपाद गौरी वश्य की जय। शिल ईश्वर पुरी गोस्वामी पार की जय। श्री चैतन्य महापुरुष गोपाल मंत्र इनिशिएशन की जय। श्री गाय धाम की जय। श्री गाय सूर्य की जय। श्री समगत गौर भक्ति वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।
Vrindaya Tulsidevaya Priyaya Keshavasacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Sattvatāya Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams everybody. Hare Krishna. Who's there? Champak Didi, Gri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Yashoda Didi, Shubhananda Prabhu, Kishore Prabhu, Ganga Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji, Gopal Prabhu, Govinda Saha, Prajumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, Ujjvala Prada Mataji, Dandavat pranams Ujjvala Prada, and Shash Sharma ji, and everybody else watching, and Dandavat pranams. Tomorrow is our last reading of this Ādi-khaṇḍa. We'll be completing, and then I don't know what we should do after that. Should we just start right away with Madhya Khaṇḍa, or should we do a review of the full Ādi-khaṇḍa just to get kind of an idea of what we? I don't know. We'll have to think of that. Yeah. Does Kishore, do you have anything? Or Nri Hari Prabhu or anybody else here have anything that they want to say?
I really like this pastime of the Ādi-khaṇḍa. This is like one of my favorite pastimes of the Ādi-khaṇḍa. Just the initiation of Mahaprabhu, of Iśvara Purī giving the mantra. This is when it all takes place. Yes, and after that Mahaprabhu becomes Bhaukani Maya and then manifests his Sankirtan Leela. It's just like I don't know how to explain him. Like it's all like coming down to this. Like this is the highlight of the Ādi-khaṇḍa for me. That it's
the whole turning point of Mahaprabhu's entire pastimes, right? This is the beginning where he starts to his whole purpose for coming here. This is the time when it starts to whatever the word is. I'm not
like everything is building up, and this is the climax.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like this pastime. I don't feel like it went so into detail, though.
Yeah, what is it? Don't we hear that Mahaprabhu said that I got this mantra and like I heard this mantra in a dream, and then he said it to Iśvara Purī, and then Or am I getting mixed up with Keshav Bharati? I'm getting mixed up with Keshav Bharati. Sorry. Yeah.
Can I read from Chaitanya Mangal?
Yes, please do.
Okay. Hold on. This way, Gaur Hari. Continuing his pilgrimage, the Lord arrived in Rajagiri, an important holy place. Vishwambar bathed in Brahmakund, worshipped the deity, and gave charity. Eager to see Lord Vishnu's feet, the Lord hurried to Gaya. On the way, he met Iśvara Purī, a Mahabhagavat and renowned sannyasi. Falling at the feet of Iśvara Purī, and with tear-filled eyes, Lord Gaurachandra said, "I am fortunate to get darshan of your feet. Please tell me how I can cross the ocean of material existence. Please give me devotion for the lotus feet of Krishna. This body is meaningless without receiving initiation into the Krishna mantra. The Puranas proclaim this, and the saints concur." Privately, Iśvara Purī whispered the Krishna mantra to Vishwambar. Immediately, the Lord lost control of himself. He cried out in excitement, "Radha, Radha, Radha!" Waves of happiness inundated the Lord. Remembering the pastimes of Braj, Vishwambar became absorbed in relishing the sweet taste of Madhurya Ras. Then, overcome with the sentiments of Radharani, he shouted, "Krishna, Krishna, Krishna!" Laughing loudly, Gaura cried, "Vrindavan, Govardhan, Kalindi, Yamuna!" After a brief pause, the Lord called out, "Balaram, Shriram, Sudham, Nanda, Yashoda." Thinking of his cows, he called out, "Dabali, Sonli." At another moment, he became restless and roared, "Saki!" Entering the mood of Dasya Bhav, mellow servitude, Vishwambar, holding a piece of straw in his mouth, declared, I have killed Aghasur, Putana, and other Asuras. I have held up Giri Govardhan. The next moment he stood in his traditional threefold bending form, gently playing a flute. Then, with a look of astonishment on his face, Gaura Hari glanced in all directions. With tears rolling down his cheeks and a choked-up voice, Vishwambar spoke softly to his guru. By your mercy, my life has become successful. My material existence has stopped. By this, Vishwambar showed the perfect example of Guru Bhakti, devotion to one's spiritual master. Moving on, and the Lord came. Moving on, the Lord came to follow Guru Vishwambar. And that's the end of that section.
Wow, that was beautiful. So many more details. Every time we do a reading, whenever there's a parallel thing, please read from that. That's just, yeah, really. Jai Ho. Thank you.
I'm sure this pastime has been written in other books about Lord Chaitanya from the bona fide acharyas. It'd be wonderful to read their versions as well.
Yeah, if you ever find anything, Kishore, like you're always free to read anything that's related. Yeah, I'm pretty like busy now, so I don't really do like any preparation or looking at anything else. I've just kind of come online and start reading, but if you ever find anything, that would be really nice. Yeah.
I have one question in regards to Gaya Tirtha. So the pastime of Gaya Tirtha is that there was this one demon named Gayasur. And Gayasur, he was performing penances and austerities, and he was worshipping Lord Vishnu. And then after worshipping Lord Vishnu became satisfied with him, and Lord Vishnu appeared before him. And Gayasur offered obeisances and prayers to Lord Vishnu. And then Lord Vishnu asked him, all right, now what is it that you desire, Gayasur? And Gayasur asked, my lord, ask for this benediction. I pray to you, my Lord Vishnu, that whoever sees me will get liberation. And the Lord granted it to Gayasur. So the first thing Gayasur started doing, he started going all over the place. He's liberating everyone. And I'm not sure if he went to Yamaloka too, but he went into a bunch of places where there was simple people, pious people everywhere, and everyone got liberation. And Yamarash was there in Yamaloka, and he was thinking, what's going on? Everyone's getting liberated all of a sudden. And so he talked to Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma said, well, this demon named Gayasur, he got the benediction, whoever sees him will become liberated. And Yamaraj thought, wait, how am I going to do my job now? And so somehow or another, there was an arrangement made with Lord Vishnu that Lord Vishnu had to stop Gayasur from liberating everyone. So the pastime is that Lord Vishnu, or Gadadhar Vishnu, he placed the lotus feet on the head of Gayasur. Or I forget the final details of the pastime, but somehow or other, Lord Vishnu stopped Gayasur and he put his feet upon him. And then Gayasur asked, my lord, Lord Vishnu asked him, do you want another benediction? And he said, yes, my lord. I want that this holy place be named Gaya after me. And I want your lotus feet to be here.
Very neat. I never heard that story. I didn't know. Wow. Very interesting. I wonder what Gaya means. Because like all the different places where Mahaprabhu went to do, right? He went to Shiva Gaya, all those different Brahma Gaya, but yeah, that's very, very, very interesting.
But my question is, how did Gaya become a place for offering pinda to the ancestors? How did that start?
My friend's saying because they offer pinda at the feet of the Lord there. Oh, okay. It's because the Lord's feet are there. They offer pinda to the Lord's feet. And then they offer that to the forefathers. And then their forefathers will get liberation because it's coming from the Lord. And there's a benediction. There's a benediction there also that anybody in that area who does shraddha will get liberation. There's like...
If I remember correctly, it said because Lord Ramachandra had performed that right there, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yes. That's very good point. Yes.
Yeah, Sri Ramachandra Bhagavan was there in Chitra Yuga. He offered Pinda in one place. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah.
And thank you, Anonymous Prabhu.
Vaidyanatha Murari Das at your service.
Haribo.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
All right, so now, yeah, it's 10 minutes till 9, so I think this is a good time to stop. And tomorrow we will do the last reading of Ādi-khaṇḍa. So see you all for that.
Could I mention one thing?
Yeah.
I don't remember how this came up in my mind, but somewhere it said that the Lord was effulgent, or that Iśvara Purī was very effulgent. The Lord was stunned taking his darshan. And it reminded me how many devotees, they were stunned taking Srila Prabhupada's darshan for the first time. How many devotees, at least one devotee said and that he was with Prabhupada walking, and he was thinking, how are the cars not stopping? Prabhupada is so effulgent. And some devotees, they've said that before they met Prabhupada, they would hear Prabhupada's tapes, and they were thinking, wow, Prabhupada must be such a big personality, like in size, like physically big. And then they went to see Prabhupada, and they were shocked to see that he was like medium size, like medium height. And then they heard him spoke, and then they realized, oh, he's big. He certainly is big in another way. I remember.
I've heard that kind of memory from people also. Like, I think that happened to people, like a lot of people.
Rishabdev Prabhu, who he says that when he first saw Prabhupada, he thought that he came from a different planet.
My father.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
He said, I saw him and I thought, like, wow, he looks like he's from a different planet.
That's so... All right, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Jai Shri Radhe, everybody. So see you all tomorrow. Hare Krishna.